Welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman, the podcast dedicated to helping you build the business of your dreams and live the life you always hoped for, with valuable and fun tips and info to make your life easier and more fun. And now, here's your host, a man who sprinkles metal shavings on his breakfast cereal just for fun, Jason Silverman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. I'm your host, Jason Silverman. I'm thrilled to share some time with you once again today. As you know, I'm always on the hunt for interesting as well as super smart, a real deal guest. And I got to tell you, today's show's a winner. I want to introduce my listeners to somebody who's truly been there and done that. And I'm excited to pick her brain for your benefit today. Now, for the folks who I work with in any of my coaching programs, my mastermind groups, or through Powerful Words Character Development, Silverman Consulting, or the 7-Figure Formula Group, you know how much I focus on the importance of being successful while actually enjoying your life, right? Well, the show's going to help us take some steps to get there. So today it's going to be my honor and privilege to share an amazing resource with you. You're going to love today's guest. She's got a ton of valuable real-life info and experience and just a great way to deliver it. So strap yourself in. Today's show is going to be a blast. As I'm sure you already know, I'm committed to helping business owners just like you to become more successful, enjoy your career more, and in general, make your life significantly more fun. Folks, we only get one ride on this merry-go-round. Let's make sure it's one hell of a ride, shall we? Alrighty, boys and girls, it is now that time. I want you to stop surfing Facebook, put away your phone, your tablet, your dog, your cat, your spouse, your child, anything that might possibly distract you from today's show. Now, if you're listening in the car, pay attention to the road. However, get yourself focused. This is going to be great. So, before we officially get going, let me give you a little bit of background about our guest expert today. Gabriella Ribeiro is a serial entrepreneur. As most of her businesses revolve around travel, she spends a great deal of time traveling the globe while also curating immersive, authentic travel for the globally curious. A single mom, she's also the CEO of the Mogul Moms, a dynamic community of fearless mompreneurs that are raising a family, running a business, and rocking both. In addition, she's the author of actually one of my newest reads and one of my most favorite reads, a book called Just Fucking Do It, which I loved. In any case, Gabriella, welcome to The Real Deal. I'm thrilled to have you today.
Thanks. It's so good to chat with you.
The pleasure's mine. So before we officially get started, for those who haven't had the opportunity and pleasure of meeting you or hearing you speak or reading your book, do me a favor. Take a second and share your story with our listeners. What are you passionate about? What makes you tick? Who is Gabriella Ribeiro?
Wow. Well, I grew up with an entrepreneur as a dad, so that was kind of like the movie that I was watching all my life. And I saw him be able to do anything that he wanted to do. And what was really inspiring is he was just naturally smart. He didn't go to college. He just had this sense of how to build things, and he just fucking did them. So that was what I grew up with. And I think all my life I've kind of always known what I'm made for and what I'm not. That sixth sense comes from my Italian mom, I'm sure. But I've always felt like, I grew up, in New Jersey, right outside of the city, and everybody would always say, well, you got to get a job in the city. Why stay in Jersey, or why do this? And I just always kind of knew what was good for me, and I always knew that working for, the man, quote unquote, was not for me either. So I tried that, and it just didn't suit me. So when I had an opportunity to kind of, jump on something and start my own thing, I figured, why the heck not? What's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? I can move home. It'll be fine. And then, little by little, I kind of like took a job in travel just because I loved to travel. It wasn't what I meant to do. I wanted to be a lawyer. I pictured myself being a diplomat all around the world and all this stuff. And so what do I really like to do? And wound up finding a way to kind of build a business around that, so it never quite felt like work. So now here I sit with a couple of different businesses that revolve around it, whether it's marketing, sales, wholesale, and also planning travel. And I've always kind of said, okay, what do you love? Find the core, and then figure out what you can build around it. And doing that has served me well. But also I've seen many other people been able to do that, and it served them well too. It's just sticking to your truth, really.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I love how, even without the initial, hey, I'm going to do this travel thing, from the get-go, it's amazing where it's taken you.
Yeah, and I think if you let things find you, it sounds really. I met this woman a long time ago, and she built this beautiful hotel, and I said, "Where did you find this property?" And she's like, "It found me." and this was years ago. And I just always remembered her because like as much as I've worked to create this stuff, it also has found me. I think it's just a question of being open-minded, and that's not only business, that's with people, that's with having conversations with strangers. As long as you can open your mind, you never know what's around the corner.
I like that. Letting it find you. It's brilliant. So, I have to ask, because I know that, listen, I've got kids, and I feel like I work, 27 hours a day. How do you find the balance as a working parent? Obviously you're doing it and you're doing it well. So, how have you struck the balance in your life?
It sounds, trite, but it's prioritization. And also I think at the end of the day, being a little bit selfish, and I say that with all of the, respect in the world for everybody. But, I think I dedicate time, although I'm super busy. I mean, it's ridiculous. We all are busy with kids, but, not having a partner at home is slightly more challenging. But if I don't take out time for myself, it's that age old thing, you're not going to be good for anybody else. So I make sure that I reset myself. I'm hydrating myself. I'm exercising. I'm doing all of this stuff that I need to do to be a better performer in every way. So, I mean, it just comes down to self-care, and it's like the thing of the moment. But for me, I've always believed in it. And now being, divorced, it's interesting because now I look at voids in my life, like, days when I don't have my daughter, and I do something for myself to keep myself recharged. So my schedule is a little bit different than other people, but for me, that works, and it doesn't matter if I have to get up super early to do it. I have to do it in order to perform better in other areas. So sticking to the self-care is a huge part. And that can be 10 minutes of meditation in the morning. That could be a manicure. That could be whatever, anything that makes me feel a little bit better.
I love that.
And that's the key. Yeah.
And I remember reading you did a marathon this year, right?
I did. Yeah. I still can't. I was talking to my coach this morning. I still can't quite believe that happened, but yes.
That's amazing. I mean, you're not a runner, historically, right?
No, not at all. Yeah. I just decided actually it was I guess it would have been 2017. Yeah. Late 2017. I just, I try to challenge myself each year with something, whether it's learn a language or, drop some weight, whatever it is. And, so that running was that thing. And I had some, personal headspace that I had to get cleared. And for some reason that really helped. And it turned into, training for the marathon, which was a goof because I literally, and I really was the girl that couldn't run a mile. And anybody that knows me could vouch for that. So it was amazing how that happened and just what you can train your body to do. I never realized that because I never tried.
That's outstanding. It truly is. So, when you think about, your own development as an entrepreneur, and I guess really as a person, what drives you to create and grow?
I love launching. I don't know. Something about that gives me a little bit of a high. So that's always the reason why I have multiple things running at the same time. I love kind of going from, somebody called me, what did they say the other day? I go from 0 to implementation in 30 seconds. That's my strength. So I always say, find your strengths, find your tools in your toolbox and figure out how to use them. So I love launching. I love bringing an idea to the forefront. So that's, it's what I like to do, and if it fails, it fails. It's kind of not a big deal. As long as I hadn't sunk my life savings into it, which I would never do, put the time in and just see where it goes.
Okay. So, it sounds like you are cramming, 48 or 60 hours into a 24-hour day. So what, and I got to believe some of the listeners are saying, yeah, me too. And some do it more effectively than others. So, how do you do that? Do you have a suggestion on how folks can go from, that overwhelm that, oh my gosh, I didn't even remember to put on pants today. How do they get to that, gosh, I'm living like a real live human being?
I think it's getting up early has always been very beneficial to me. And I was never like a super late bird, even in college, So I think those morning hours, especially now that I'm a parent, when nobody is asking for anything from me are so precious. So whether it's between 4 and 7, those are my golden hours. Because, although I have clients in different parts of the world, I really can get a lot of hardcore work done and I'm quiet and I can get a workout in. But what I really find myself doing is just always being able to work on the go. And I think when you can do that and you can pitch up really anywhere, whether it's waiting for my daughter at gymnastics, whether it's, at dance class or wherever I am, a commitment during the day, waiting at the DMV, making myself completely mobile, putting all the tools that I need on my phone or buying a really slim laptop that fits in my bag. This way I can catch up on a few things that otherwise would stress me out, that I would think about that are still home. And if I'm able to do those incremental things during the day while I'm committed to other things, that really helps me be able to jump leaps and bounds ahead of, what it would be if I just kind of left it till the next day.
So it really is making the most of the time you've got.
Yeah, exactly. And how many of us, especially as parents, are waiting at soccer games or waiting at this? So, I love to talk to people, but there are some times I need to get work done. So I'll be in the bleachers, I'll be in the waiting room, but I'll, be kind of head down working and crushing something.
That makes sense. Now, speaking of 48 hours, I know that you do these 48-hour power jaunts, and this is something that, I specifically wanted to ask you about. Tell me what this is, how it started, like what made you do that, and what is it?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been traveling really all my life. My dad was in travel and frequently it's one of those things when, sometimes like, especially in the past, you used to just get deals and you went, if they told you had to go Tuesday to Thursday, he would bring the family and we'd go Tuesday, Thursday. But I think as our lives become more compressed, and especially in the US, we have 10 vacation days a year, like by law, I guess. I just find people, taking shorter trips and going further as the world kind of becomes smaller, with airlift and connectivity. So I noticed again a void, and I said, well, you know what? I've always been traveling like this, and people laugh at me, but at the same time, they still want to do it. So I said, let me just make a couple of itineraries that give you the best of a city if you only have 2 days to spend in it. And let's see how it goes. And again, just one of those things, it didn't cost me anything to put them together. I said, let me just put some ideas out, float them out, and they caught on. It was people would see how I was traveling and see that it was possible to go to Tokyo for the weekend, or, and I wasn't just saying it, I was actually living it. So I think part of it is being authentic, living your truth, and just putting it on, with no airs, and having people understand that, things are really happening versus you creating them as something in their mind that really can't be achieved. It was showing it versus just talking about it had really helped with the formulation of the idea. So, and again, nothing bad could have happened. I put them out. If they didn't work, they didn't work. Not a big deal.
No, exactly. So, yeah. So what is it? You're giving somebody a 48-hour experience that, is just life-changing.
Yeah, like over the top, really. So what we do is we'll take a city, any city they want. I have 48 of them, but if somebody wants to go somewhere else, I'll create it. And we kind of twist up the traditional journey. So if you're going to London, we're not really going to drive you past Big Ben. We're not going to put you on the London Eye. We're gonna get you to the back streets. We're going to get you into certain purveyors of certain cheeses and meats and whatever. If that's your thing. If you want to deep dive in a food tour, if you want to get really authentic and do like a pub crawl, with hidden pubs that nobody knows about. Whatever you kind of like to do, we'll twist it on its head, and we'll give you a little bit of a back street experience, and just to give people something else to remember, that I think would stick with them, especially since they did it in 2 days. I think it's like coming home with the bragging rights of, wow, I did all of this in the city, and I was 2 days on the ground.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I grew up with a mother who owned a travel agency, so it was, hey, it's Thursday, we're going to Egypt. You get it. I get it. I don't know that I've recovered from any of that yet, but I'm learning. So
yes,
that's outstanding. So, you touched on this before, and you talked about some of your self-care. I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive for folks out there, because so many of my clients, so many of my listeners, work in the after-school activity industry. They're owners of gyms, of dance studios, of martial arts academies, of cheer gyms, of gymnastics clubs. They are absolutely on the front line, and as you know, sometimes it's rough dealing with the public.
Yes.
As far as self-care is concerned, just how crucial do you feel it can be, and can you give people a couple of quick, at least start here?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I said before, it doesn't always have to be this big deal. And I have lots of friends that are, very busy and they don't work, or maybe they have many more kids than I do. And they always say, I don't have the time. But I truly believe that everybody has at least 10 or 15 minutes in their day to find for themselves, whether they have 3 kids, 6 kids. There's a certain time before you go to bed, or there's a certain time, when you wake up. That you actually can integrate something, and whether it's, if you love to read, that's reading, a chapter or 2 in a book. I think people always think self-care has to be, okay, a day at a spa, and that can be, or that it has to be a vacation, and that certainly can be, and I wish that for everybody. But the reality is we just don't have the time. So again, it's looking into what you can do. And like I said before, if it's like sometimes a pedicure makes all the difference in a week to me. So if that's what it is, or getting my hair blown out, it could be something simple as that. If it makes me feel better and a little bit better looking, which I think is a huge part of everything, you're all getting older, and if it makes you feel more confident, then you've got to schedule it in. And I always say I ask for help, which when it comes to business and when it comes to my child, I'm not good at asking for help in other ways. But I have a village around me, and they're all willing to help, and I help everybody. And I think there's no shame in saying, hey, can you just do me a favor? Can you give me a half an hour, whether it's a parent or a friend? I'll trade. I'll take your kid the next time, and get out and do something for you. It's not selfish. It's actually something that you should be doing to just perform better in all areas of your life.
Well, I guess it goes back to that, that message you get when you step on an airplane, put your mask on first.
100%. 100%.
Got it. All right. So tell me this, what's next for you? I mean, it sounds like, you're not one to let moss grow under you. So what's, what mountain are you getting set to climb?
Well, funny enough, this is, it started in early January. 2 things came my way, and, I really like finding things that don't exist, or creating things. So I'm involved in 2 amazing projects right now that don't exist, that we're creating from the ground up. So I'm kind of thrilled about it. One is just a very unique idea. It's actually working with someone who is sort of in and out of the space industry, so to speak. I won't say too much about it now, but it's a really unique company that's launching in a few weeks, and that I have absolutely no experience in, but I love the idea and the concept, so I am involved. And the other thing is I'm building amazing video storytelling content for the travel industry with a wonderful partner. And we did some great stuff last week in Africa, and there's just so much more to come around the world. So I really haven't been as excited about something as I am of this in a while.
That's exciting. That's
yeah, it is. It's huge.
I guess so much for sleep. So got it.
No,
you can sleep.
Yeah, you sleep on a plane. You can, you can figure it out. That's what everybody says. You get exhausted. I'm like, are you kidding me? Sleep on a plane is the best sleep. Nobody can get you. Nobody can find you, and it's just brilliant. You can look however you want, and I love it. So for me, it recharges me.
And nobody cares. Exactly.
No, exactly.
All right. So it's time for our resource of the week. So if you would, tell me more about how you are helping, really that mom community out there to succeed.
Yeah, it's been so nice. I mean, what I realized about so many working moms, and especially when I took over at the Mogul Mom, I thought it would be much more, business ideas and coaching and things, but really what everybody needs is that self-care reminder, or even a kick in the ass. They need accountability. And they don't necessarily need business advice 24/7. So it's been really nice to sort of be there, and be a shoulder, and in some cases be, kind of like, I hate saying role model, but, it's like sometimes they're sort of like, I can't even figure out a way to sell my, my t-shirts, and they see someone running a few businesses. Sometimes it serves as a little bit of a point of inspiration, and I never really thought that of myself, but it's really nice to see people going from zero to the next step and having a little something to do with it. So I'm thrilled about it.
So that's at themogulmom.com, right?
Correct.
All right. And that's just if you would say a little bit more about what the Mogul Mom is.
Yeah, it's a community, and we're global now at this point. We have members from so many different countries, and it really is comprised of women that are, what we say is raising a family, running a business, and rocking both. That's the best way I could put it. But, we have women in all stages that join. It's people who are either running the business or are looking at trying to get the business up and running. So they're kind of in all stages. But what I find the common thread between everybody is they really need support from other women that get it. They're not the blacktop moms. They're not the competitive moms. They're really the grunt workers behind the scenes that are rolling up their sleeves and really wanting to make their mark. So they're humble, they're hungry, and they're just fantastic to work with.
Fantastic. All right. So www.themogulmom.com, MOGULMOM.com, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Folks, head up there, take a peek, and if it's something that resonates and something that you feel will help you get to that next level, get in there. So, Gabriella, I always ask what I consider to be a telling question. So if you could give business owners just one solid piece of advice to either help their business or probably more importantly, help them, to live a better life, what would that one piece of advice be?
Oh, it's just fucking do it. So the reason why is because I always feel like nothing good comes from hesitation, like nothing. And that could be, taking too much time to make your decision in a diner and having your favorite soup sell out, to launching something, because I see, and my friend always says, don't focus on the pixel. And she's so right. I've seen people wait years to launch a website because the pixel isn't fixed or the pictures on the homepage don't look right. So you're wasting all of this time. In the meantime, nothing gets done. So I always say, get it going and the rest will follow. That's the best advice I can give.
I love that line. Nothing good ever comes from hesitation. I think that's brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. All right. Gabriella, thank you so much for joining me today. I know how busy you are, and I was just thrilled to actually catch you in the United States. So, this has been absolutely fantastic catching up with you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Folks, that's all the time we've got today. Thanks so much for tuning into The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. For more info about private coaching or to see if you'd benefit from one of my mastermind groups, hit me over at www.jasonmsilverman.com. I look forward to helping you achieve the success that you truly deserve. Until next time, let me leave you with this. Get out there and be the real deal. Set a goal, make a plan, work like hell towards it, and achieve the success that you truly deserve. Now's the time. Get out there and make it happen. This has been Jason Silverman, and I hope you have a spectacular week.
You've been listening to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. To access the great resources mentioned in the show and for information on coaching and mastermind group opportunities with Jason, please visit jasonmsilverman.com.